Hey there, boys and ghouls. Welcome to another episode of Hollow Weekly, the show where only smart horror survives. This week, we are continuing our journey down the Hollow Can We Go pipe? Is it a pipe? How low can we go?
Is
it a pipe, a slide?
It's leading to a sewer.
Yeah, so it is. It's a sewage pipe.
So yeah,
all the way down. This week we have at 24%. A film that I think we've both been wanting to do for a while. We've had our eye on it since we started.
Yeah, because when we were looking at the lower percentages, we're like, oh my god, our eyes are going to bleed out of our heads watching some of these movies. And we've been looking at Event Horizon in the distance, in the horizon.
And funny, and his eyes do bleed.
That's right, man. But we were thinking of it off like this mirage, like this oasis we wanted to get to and just watch it because we knew we liked it, right? So,
well, I knew I would like it. This was my first viewing.
Finally here.
We are here at 24% with Event Horizon. And before we take a deep dive into Event Horizon, if you could take a second and head on over to iTunes and give us a 5-star review, or pay attention to the cavalry that is Spotify coming in, and follow us over there on Spotify. I really like it over there. I was just checking out our page, like, oh, look at that! Hot damn! Look at that.
Glad to be on there.
Either one of those, we'd really appreciate it. And if you do that, we will give you a shout out at the end of the following episode.
Yep.
Unless you do it now and we somehow figure out you did it live while recording.
Yeah, just review really loud. We might hear you.
Yeah, just yell, I
all
gave
caps.
You a 5-star review.
Precisely.
And we'll be like, there we go. We got to give him a shout out, him or her a shout out.
Although I feel 1-star reviews when they happen, when they literally part of me dies. So.
Yeah,
I might be able to give you a shout out just for.
We did get the 1-star review, which made me feel good because then it didn't look like
the 1-star review that said, "Hey, this show is only interviews for a show in which 10% of our episodes are interviews." It's a great review, man.
Well, no, it was it took us from 5 to 4.5, and I was like,
whatever.
That kind of looks more legit. But give us the 5-star. Give us the good stuff.
Yes,
give us the good stuff. The 5
we
stars.
appreciate it.
Alrighty, so let's talk about Event Horizon.
Yes.
We won't need eyes to see.
What are you talking about?
I created the Event Horizon to reach the stars. But she's gone much, much farther than that. She tore a hole in our universe, the gateway to another dimension. A dimension of pure chaos. Pure evil.
So we've both you've seen this film.
I had seen this 1.5 times in my life.
What was the half?
I caught it on TV, and it's one of those movies where I feel like, I mean, that doesn't happen to people anymore so much.
No,
you catch things on radio. Although Sling TV is bringing that vibe back a little bit.
Yeah, it is.
And Shudder TV, their live TV feature is actually pretty cool. But I caught it. I don't know, probably actually 1/3 in, and then sort of half paid attention to it a minute and just got caught back up because I think it's a really good movie.
Well, the first run. This is the first time I had never seen the film,
but you were clearly aware of it, heard of it. You're a gamer, so you. Yeah,
this game influenced heavily. It's you can see a lot of the influence in Dead Space.
Yep.
With the Artifact and all that other stuff.
Yep.
And then Good Bad Flicks did a really good deep dive on how producers completely fucked this movie.
Yeah, that was a great episode.
Yeah, so I went into it knowing that this film has some flaws, but I didn't know the main story behind it. I knew it had Sam Neill and Lawrence Fishburne.
Right.
Enough said.
You're right.
Enough said for me. So let's jump into 60-second reviews.
So what's your 60-second review of this movie is the question, right?
Yes.
So, all right, I will go.
Hold on.
Hold on.
I got to get you're not getting a second more than 60.
Oh, you're timing
I'm timing
me, you
this.
motherfucker.
All right. On your marks.
Okay.
Get set.
Okay.
Review.
All right. Does Paris intrigue you? Does the idea of going to Notre Dame intrigue you? The cathedral?
Yes, absolutely.
Right? This ship in Event Horizon is designed on the Notre Dame Cathedral. How crazy is that? Literally, they took the building, they folded it in half, they made the parts of the sides of the church, the wings. That's why there's all this like religious iconography and arches and the thing. This is a vacation. This is not a horror movie. You get to go to Paris. No, I'm just kidding. I'm totally kidding. All right. Do you want to see the best movie ever made by the guy who made Alien versus Predator and Three Musketeers?
What? Yes, I would like to see his best.
I'm not really doing a good job pitching this movie. So here's the thing. No. Here's the thing. Here's my real review of this. All right, so there's a really, really good book about Hollywood called "The Genius of the System" or something like that. It's fine. I'm going to go over by a little bit. And this movie is an example of the idiocy of the system. The studio ruined this movie. So this movie is exciting and dull. It's polished and cheesy. It's scary as hell and boring. This movie is a collaboration between people who were trying to do a good job with a horror movie and people who didn't care less.
There we go. I'm just gonna have to edit out the extra 17 seconds, leaving the listeners very confused.
Totally fine.
No, that is perfect.
I tried.
No, that was perfect. That was beautifully said.
All right.
And if I hadn't seen the film, I would listen to that review and be like, all right, I'm going to go check it out.
All right,
I've never been to Paris.
Let me get close to the microphone here. Siri, open stopwatch.
I got stopwatch open right here.
That's okay, I'm going.
Oh, you want to be in the control. There's something about holding the power of start and stop.
There is.
Like, that just makes the other person feel completely... Like, right now, you opening it, I feel so weak. I'm like, I have no power.
The tables have turned.
All right, I'm ready.
Ready?
I'm ready.
Go.
All right, so Event Horizon is a love letter to space horror. It is, if you like Alien, if you like Alien 2, if you like Aliens, then boy, are you gonna
Aliens is Alien 2.
you're gonna love Event Horizon.
Okay.
No, so this film, it does have some flaws, like in the writing.
For sure.
But to me, that's the main place where it has its flaws. Which kind of overall, I mean, the writing is the film, obviously, but I think producers kind of screwed over. But if you look at something like the cinematography is beautiful. Every time they shot Lawrence Fishburne, he looks cool.
Yep.
The effects are amazing. Even like the CGI isn't terrible.
10 seconds.
And the music, techno music, is a little shitty and kind of weird. But overall, if you like space horror or you play Dead Space, you're gonna love Event Horizon.
Oh my God, you actually nailed it! Like,
did I really?
Exactly.
Jesus.
That was
the
dot, like 0.10th. It's like the Winter Olympics here.
There we go.
100th of a second. Well done.
No, so what we both sort of hit the same thing. Like it's got this film has it's shot beautifully. It has a lot of symbolisms in it.
It really holds up.
Yes.
I mean, crazy how old this movie is.
It did,
and it still looks pretty damn good.
Like, we've watched a few films. Granted, they were a little bit older, like Hell Night, the Linda Blair film that we did at the top of How Low Can We Go.
Yep.
That film feels old.
Yeah, but that's weird because I wouldn't clean that movie up. Like, that's the charm of it. Like, I'd be afraid to look at Hell Night too clearly.
But it has the same. But Hell Night has the same thing. Like when I had my first viewing of Alien, it for some reason it just doesn't age. Like, even the technology that obviously, like, it has like the green Matrix looking letters and stuff. It doesn't feel old.
No, that's the weird thing is the computer scenes in Jurassic Park feel older than the inner space scenes of this movie, which is weird, but it's amazing. And some of the visuals, the spinning hallway, which apparently really fucked with the actors while they were filming it. But that kind of stuff, I think would still look good like 20 years from now.
And the set design of everything too. It's so detailed in that film.
Yeah, it is. And they put a lot of Easter eggs. They had a lot of care in it. It's just really weird how inconsistent the movie is, right? Like, because there are plot holes that you could drive like 10 Event Horizon ships through.
Drive.
Right? It's
try to give me space references if we can in there.
Right, and there's like some weird exposition dumps and things, but Speaking of, I just got to say this right now. Sam Neill is the champion explainer of things in modern movies. Remember how he explained the velociraptors
with
in
the
Jurassic
claw
Park
and
and told
sliding
the
across the
story
kid's
and did
belly?
like right. And the way he explains like interdimensional space and how the ship works in this movie is fucking brilliant. He's so good at it, right? And he's done it in other movies too. He's just really good. He's a really good explainer. I want to take Sam Neill and make him. You remember Margot Robbie in Wolf of Wall Street?
Yeah.
She's like, was it? No, it's Big Short.
Big Short, yeah.
When she's like in the bathtub and then she just explains like mortgage derivatives for like 30
Yes.
seconds. I want Sam Neill to do that for every complicated movie made from this podcast on. I just want to see Sam Neill.
I want him
in
to
a foamy
explain
bathtub.
every mistake I made. Because then I'd get it. I'd be like, oh, I'll never do that again.
Right? No, it's amazing. He's just got so much charisma and he's just really good at that. But there were like these strange like expedition moments and places where it got boring and you're like, what? Why is that happening? I wanted to ask you something because this was something that really intrigued me about the movie. I think this movie is a super fun movie to watch with people who haven't seen it. Right?
Yes.
It's in that category of movies where I'd almost have more fun rewatching it with someone else than watching it again myself. Right? But it's weird because the kind of terror in this movie intrigues me because I feel like it puts filmmakers in a really weird, awkward position. Right? So it's spoiler. The ship comes back from hell dimension possessed, or it becomes alive. Right? It's a creature, and it can also use your memories and fears against you.
Yes.
So that means it basically can project anything to you, right? So it gives you carte blanche to scare us with anything, which is almost too much choice, and it fucking sinks.
I was gonna compare that to another film that did reasonably well.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Because I'm gonna compare it to a film. So I heard everyone talk about how this film is like The Shining in space, or Alien, or whatever. But it kept making me think of Flatliners.
Oh yeah, you mentioned that during the film,
because Flatliners, they was using the characters' memories of the things they're against them, right?
Yeah,
and that happens in this movie. But there's also the hell dimension where the crew actually suffers. So I feel like it mixed two kinds of terror that shouldn't go together. It should be one or the other. Right?
Oh, we were calling the film Halien.
Right, yeah.
Hellraiser
because the Hellraiser impact is like whatever, but check this out. This is the thing I was talking about. So if the ship is the villain, the ship's possessed, think about how much less personality it has than like Christine. Right? Immediately it becomes like the ship basically at the end does the stupidest thing imaginable to even try to forward its mission, right? Like it has the one person it has in control shoot out its own window, which is pretty damn dumb.
Yeah.
Right. So the ship is not like a genius level.
No.
It's not as smart as Christine.
He's an intern from hell.
But so then on the other side of it, I think the movie that and book that nails this is It.
You beat me to it.
Right? Because Pennywise can take the form of any fears.
Exactly.
But he can also do real world damage, which is the mixture this movie has, but doesn't quite get.
Yes. You nailed it around the head.
Right?
Yeah, the ship is sort of like a just a mobile, spacey version. Well, Pennywise is mobile, but yeah, it's the same thing. The crew is like, in a way, the Losers Club.
Oh shit! And I really liked the crew. Like you had said when we were watching it, like compared to the crew of Life, the Jake Gyllenhaal movie, how generic they are.
It just felt
how these are like good actors and they're very distinguished from each other.
Yeah, Life was like, hey, it's the International Space Station. We have to have the Russian, we need to have the English guy, we need to have the American. Right. But this like felt more like the crew of Alien, where like just like these blue collar people, they're like, we were about to be like retired and do all this other shit, but you're making us do this one last trip.
So true.
And they're all pissed off because that was the first thing that I liked about Sam Neill. He goes, I'm just honored to be here, and they're like, you're honored? We're pissed off. We got to be here. We were almost done.
Awesome.
And like that introduction of like, it helped Sam Neill's character really. Like
you're right. That was a really great horror employee meeting.
Yes. Yes, it was.
That's cool.
But the crew itself was great because like they were just kind of like they were doing a job, but they were doing it in a way where like they were joking with each other, just trying to get through it. Like they know they weren't in love with what they were doing.
Right. Which is the same sort of like gritty camaraderie the Alien crew had. So yeah, for sure. That's a great point. That's definitely a thing way in the favor of this movie.
Mm-hmm. Well, and the only thing that I guess we'll get into this best and worst part. So I'll leave that for then. But the effects of this film, a lot of people hate CGI.
Sure,
I love practical, but I think this film, like the floating stuff, I don't know if that was CGI.
That was CGI.
I'm assuming CGI. It still looked great.
It did.
It still looked great. It didn't date bad. And then the practical stuff, like when Sam Neill finally went full pinheadish, it looked great.
Yeah,
and all the gore.
And they did practical when they could, which I respect. And like the one shot, the Good Bad Flicks guy had said that the shots of the long hallway, the really sinister hallway, that's a hallway with a mirror in it. So they just like doubled the size of it optically instead of generating it.
Yeah,
which is really cool. No,
I absolutely loved it, and I like what I like about this film is it's one of those films. The more like I'm thinking about it more, it's like Twin Peaksing, like in my head. Where I'm thinking more and more about it and like the influence I've seen it in other video games and other
for sure,
other films. And there's just not a lot of films that have that much influence that sort of fly under the radar like Event Horizon does.
Right. And did financially as badly as it did. At least theater-wise.
Blows my fucking mind.
Yep.
That it did terrible. Because I'm looking at a list. Well, this isn't part of the questions, but I guess I could bring these up.
Go for it.
So here's what we're comparing Event Horizon to.
So this is on the Rotten Tomatoes scale. It's at 24%. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay.
So 24% right now.
Yes.
Of course, it goes up and down because
whatever.
Someone in Iowa goes.
It's not going to go to 60. It's going to stay there. So.
Well, it's already at 61 with audience score.
Oh, sweet.
Which is good news. But the critical review. The critical review is what we're looking at here. Some of these films I haven't seen, but I'm just going to ask you, do you think it's better or worse?
Come at me.
Ryan Reynolds' Amityville Horror.
Worse.
Worse? Jason Goes to Hell, The Final Friday.
Event Horizon is better.
I don't know what the statement is, but it has Michael Caine. We're going to skip that one. Wishmaster.
Event Horizon is better.
Event Horizon. I've never seen this one, but it looks old and great. The Food of the Gods.
Event Horizon is better, although I'm getting hungry now.
I'm very hungry. This film came out not that long ago. Apollo 18.
Event Horizon is better.
Because the other space horror.
It's fine.
Paranormal Activity 4.
Event Horizon is better.
What about Cabin Fever 3? Patient Zero.
I haven't seen it, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say Event Horizon is better.
Okay. Now I'm going to flip the script. I went with films that are in 60%. So that's fresh.
So they're fresh.
Fresh according to Rotten Tomatoes.
Technically, yes.
Okay, some of these films I haven't seen, just like the last one. This one's called Curtains.
I haven't seen it.
At 60%.
Okay.
Okay, so let's go with World War Z at 66%.
Ooh.
Is Event Horizon better than World War Z?
Ooh.
Which has a sequel.
I feel like those are two really interesting comparisons because they have sort of the same flaws. Mm-hmm. They have sort of the same like high level acting that sort of gets wasted. Wow, that's a really interesting comparison. Here's the thing: if I was online and it said, thanks for your input, you get to pick a free gift, and they offered me the Event Horizon Blu-ray or the World War Z Blu-ray, I'd take Event Horizon Blu-ray.
All right, here's where it's going to get a little trickier here. Sinister.
Oh, yeah. I think Event Horizon is more influential, but I think Sinister is... Wait.
Bagul versus Sam Neill.
Wait. I think Sinister is better put together, but my heart still wants to go with Event Horizon. There's a couple of really scary sequences in Sinister, and it's definitely crafted with more care. And he probably, I mean, in all fairness, the director of Sinister was way less interfered with by the studio.
Yes, that's the biggest thing about Event Horizon. The saddest thing about Event Horizon.
It's better crafted, but I think Event Horizon has more. I mean, I'm telling you right now, like you I have not laughed as hard at a movie.
Oh my god!
Not. I'm just talking about comedy and horror movies. I'm talking about comedies. I have not laughed as hard in weeks at a movie as when The hell tape plays, and then it cuts immediately.
Well, real quick, the hell tape.
The hell tape plays, and they cut immediately to Lawrence Fishburne on the bridge, and he's like, "We're leaving." It's the best.
Well, for those who haven't seen it, the hell tape is just a video of people getting tortured, screaming, hollering, crying.
Yep.
Followed up by the way it's the delivery of that line that just killed us.
He said
it with such certainty.
The hell tape is super grim, and it's. I was trying to find a YouTube video about this movie for some purpose before this podcast, and he literally said that he couldn't show the hell thing because his channel had been banned for showing it before.
No way.
Right? So imagine, like, this movie is 20 years old, and or whatever it is, and it's still got scenes in it that can get you banned off YouTube, like, now, right? So it's pretty intense, but his timing was fucking perfect. It was the funniest shit.
Oof.
Okay, what else you got to compare?
Okay, I got two more for you. The rest are all right. But here's two that I think will be fun to chew on here. Evil Dead remake.
Oh, Evil Dead remake's better.
Yeah, that one's easy.
By far.
Okay, here's one that might be comparing it to not it, but same director. It's at 64%.
Okay.
Mama.
Oh shit. Mama's better.
You think so?
I do. Not by a lot, but it's better. All right. Of all the movies you threw at me, which do you think are better than Event Horizon?
All right, let me go through. Do I think it's better than Amityville? No. Jason? No. Food of the Gods? I don't give a shit. Wishmaster? No. Apollo 18? No. Paranormal 4? No. Cabin Fever 3? Absolutely. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Do I think it's better than World War Z? As a film, like a film production, I would probably say World War Z, but as influential and something I would actually recommend to horror fans, I'd go with Event Horizon.
So do my thing. You're online, you want a free prize.
I'm online, I get a free prize.
Which Blu-ray?
I go with Event Horizon.
Okay.
If it has
extras.
If it has extras.
Yeah, they both have extras.
Okay, they both have extras. Event Horizon.
How boring will World War Z's extras be?
Oh, Jesus. So the producers came and they wheeled in a Pepsi Cola machine.
I mean, there's some real cool shit about. You'll see it in the Good Bad Flicks if you watch this video, which I recommend on Event Horizon. But Paul Anderson was immersed in some really, really good old horror movies at the time that he picked to do this movie. And I'm going to give him points just for picking to do it. Because Mortal Kombat was a huge success. Huge success. I mean, the budget was like something like 20 or 30 million and made over 100, right? So he could have done any movie he wanted. And he picked Event Horizon because he wanted to do something scary and original, not like the easy way out to, like what happened today. And they would just, do Jurassic World 7. So I give him points for doing just for that. But okay, so
all right. So
what's the last movie?
I'm going to go with the Blu-rays. Yes. The Blu-ray one. Do I get Sinister or Event Horizon? I'd go Sinister.
Yeah.
I would pick Sinister, Evil Dead or Sinister, or Evil Dead or Event Horizon, Evil Dead.
Yeah.
That or Mama. I'd go Event Horizon over Mama for the Blu-ray.
So we were pretty much the same there, except for Mama.
Mama,
yep.
Yeah, I was a little disappointed in Mama. I liked it. I loved the short, and then when the film was announced, I don't know. The ending was just a little strange. But
yeah, Mama isn't great. It's just it's hard for me to. The director,
Andy Muschietti.
Yeah, and the way that everyone who worked on that movie. So Bill, what's the Patriots? Bill Belichick's chant it's "Do your job."
Do your job, yeah.
Everyone on Mama did their job. Like the cinematographer did his job, people who scored it did their job. Everyone did their job. Event Horizon, there's a lot of people who, and it probably is not their fault, didn't get to do their job. Like consistency, like weird errors, plot holes.
It's the way I would do that is they did their job, but then Belichick came to work on speed and was like, "No, we're not fucking doing that."
Which will never happen. If that happened, it would open another dimension and we could travel to.
Bill Belichick on speed is the gateway to hell.
Yes, for sure. Okay.
All right. So let's move on to who is this movie for?
Okay, go. You take it.
So I mentioned it a little bit in the review. If you're a gamer like me and you particularly like the survival horror stuff, looking at like Dead Space, your Resident Evils, your Silent Hills, that type of stuff, you're really gonna enjoy this movie. One, especially if you dig the Dead Space stuff, because you'll see where it's highly influenced from, which is really cool to see because you can see some of the design stuff that they took. I mean, it's a mix of Event Horizon, it's a mix of Alien, some other stuff, but like the artifact stuff from Dead Space is a clear like.
Yep.
Like in the game, there's like this big spiral thing that they sort of like worship, if I remember correctly, and that's sort of like the spinny gateway.
Yep.
In the film. So if you're a gamer into survival horror,
Which, by the way, is a cool as fuck design.
it is super cool.
That's the spinning gateway.
I would if you're into that, I would recommend it. If you enjoy Alien, I mean, saying you like space horror is kind of like a weird thingy, but this film is just like a diamond in. I don't want to say diamond in the rough. It's
24% is in the rough.
It's in the rough. It is. So it is. Okay. It absolutely is
Yep.
a diamond in the rough. And I can see some people if looking at the reviews going, oh, I don't want to see that one. That looks cheesy.
Sure.
But if you're into that kind of thing, definitely give Event Horizon the time of day. I don't know. I got to rewatch the Good Bad Flicks episode. But I don't know if there's not a director's cut, right? There's not like a.
There's not, unfortunately, because you're not going to believe this, but the directors, the footage that Paul Anderson wanted to use for the director's cut ended up in a salt mine in Transylvania. Physically, the footage lived in a salt mine, and a lot of it got ruined. So he couldn't assemble a director's cut the way he wanted to. So he just took what was left of that footage that was salvageable and put it as deleted scenes on the Blu-ray release. But there'll never be a director's cut.
That's a shame. All right, who are you recommending, or who is this movie for?
See, here's the thing. I know we're a podcast and a show, and we're supposed to answer questions. Like, that's our job, so I don't mean to default on job. But I don't know who this is for. It scares me a little bit. Because here's the thing. I feel like people who were enraptured with this movie when it came out or caught it as kind of like a cult favorite around the era and just after it came out, I think they probably would be less impressed with it now and find it a little more boring and less scary than they remember it. Mm-hmm. I feel like the new generation, I fear that it moves too slow to really catch the interest of people who are I don't know what the natural audience for this is. I'd love for people to go on our Facebook page and tell me if they love the movie and why, and like what other horror like basically they like, because I get that space horror people would like it, and I get that whatever, but I feel like it slipped through the cracks when it came out, and in a weird way, since it's about a crack in the universe, maybe it's just destined to slip through the cracks perpetually.
I'm gonna change my answer.
Okay.
Because what you were saying reminded me of when I first got into horror films, and the first two films I picked up was Army of Darkness and Jason X.
Yeah, I remember.
So I would recommend this film for the person who doesn't know they're quite into horror just yet. This is their gateway drug.
Okay.
Because it's
because it has a gateway in it.
It has a gateway in it. Number one.
Well done. Right.
Number one, it has a gateway. Two, it's not a terrible film by any stretch of the imagination.
No, it's really good.
And I think this is the type of film that if I had stumbled, I could have replaced Army of Darkness or Jason X with Event Horizon and still have gotten into horror just as hard as I did when I first started getting into it. So I would say Event Horizon is the gateway drug. Because after you see this and you're like, if this film is considered bad and it's this good,
see, the problem is
like?
What you're saying is totally logically right. The only thing that is weird to me about that is it was your gateway drug because it was contemporaneous with the age that you were getting gateway drug. Like, how old were you when you saw Jason X?
It was like 6th grade or something.
And you saw it basically when it was released. Right?
No. I bought it on.
I mean, how old was the movie when you saw it?
That I don't know.
Right, I would imagine the movie was probably what? It could not have been 3 or 4 years. It couldn't have been more than 4 years old.
Couldn't have been more than 4
when you saw it. Right? People don't gateway on movies that are 20 years back usually. Right? I think. I don't know. I mean, I gatewayed on Cat People, fucking 1942.
And the other film was Army of Darkness, which was like 10,
all right,
15.
Fair enough. I mean, Army of Darkness has so much crazy energy and charm that like that's a standout. Event Horizon, I don't know. It's weird. It's here's the thing. The thing that I keep going back to and holding on to for who this is for is, or anything really about this movie, is that it's so much fun to watch someone who doesn't know what they're in for watch it. Because people who don't know what they're in for starting to watch it, they think they're watching a space horror movie and they don't realize that they're watching a Hellraiser type slasher in space until kind of it hits him over the head with it, and it's too late, and it's really unnerving. It's a genuinely unnerving movie, right? Which I think is, and it holds up so well. I just don't know. I mean, I can't particularly answer who this is for because it makes me worry that it's just a movie that is going to be overlooked. It was overlooked for a reason. It's just going to keep getting overlooked.
This film is for Satanists who are having ice cream socials.
They will love it.
We need something to play on the projector. What can we do?
They can watch the extended hell scenes.
Event Horizon again.
Slowed down. What was your favorite part of the whole movie?
All right, so best and worst part?
Yep.
Favorite part of the film? I would say any scene with Lawrence Fishburne. To me, he was just so cool-headed the whole time. He just wanted everything. He was a straight arrow. He just wanted to figure everything out.
Yep. And the Good Bad Flicks guy said that Lawrence Fishburne himself is actually really proud of his performance in this.
It's very good. But if I had to pick a scene with him, I thought the most creative thing, because I thought the film was going to do, because it's a space film.
Yep.
And inevitably in every space film, someone gets shot out of a air duct or something like that. You know what I mean? They just go thump right out.
Oh, that baby bear scene is amazing.
So yes, when he's outside working on the ship and the guy goes into the thing and he's about to get shot out into space.
Baby bear's in the compression chamber.
Yeah, and Lawrence Fishburne's character grabs him
because he's committing suicide, but he's possessed committing suicide.
Yes.
And then whatever's possessing him sort of relinquishes him when it's too late, just to mentally torture him.
Yes.
Which is horrible.
And then it shoots him out into space. Meanwhile, Lawrence Fishburne's outside. He jumps and grabs him, and they both sort of like glide back into the spaceship. I thought that scene, I thought it was creative. I thought it was cool. And it wasn't like your generic, oh, I'm going to get sucked out into the endless realm of space and die a shitty death.
That is great. That was a great scene. To me, I think the best, this is going to be weird because I'm not picking any individual thing. I think the best thing about this movie is the design, the ship design.
Yes.
And just the design of the movie in general. And just how much kind of unnerving shit they sort of hid in the background or kind of subtly worked into things where, I mean, it was so weird. A scene would start and I get this weird feeling that I was visiting Stonehenge somehow.
Yeah.
But I'm in space. But it was making me feel more like I was... It's the same thing with the fucking 2001 and that monolith. There's some kind of weird combination between space and really minimalist, like real objects. You know? So just the design, I think, was absolutely spectacular. The spinning gateway, and by the way, the award. This isn't the worst thing about the movies. I'm not cheating, but the award for worst poster ever is this movie. Look up the poster they went with this. And Paul Anderson was like, "Holy shit! I designed that gateway. Just put that fucking thing on the poster. It's it's creepy and gorgeous and unsettling." And they went with it's like a Lethal Weapon poster. It's so bad. So yeah.
Yeah, that's
all right. What's your least favorite thing about it?
Least favorite thing has got to be some of the writing. There was a few scenes where we both sort of like looked at each other and were like, what the fuck was that? And it was when there was the one blonde lady, and I forget what happens, but something happens and it just like connects in her head, going, you know what? Maybe the ship's alive.
Insta figure it out.
Yeah, she insta figured it out, and it kind of came out of nowhere. And I'm hoping that somewhere there's an assault mine in Pennsylvania. There's a scene where she does the detective work,
right?
But in the cut that we watched, something happens and she's able just to connect. I think the ship's alive.
Yeah, she was literally like the sensors keep detecting this thumping in Pod Bay 4. Maybe the ship's alive. Like, how did you intuit that from that? Like, what is happening there? Yeah, that was a
little weird.
I love Sam Neill, and in my top 10 of all horror movies of all time is Possession from 1981, and his performances, like I mean, you just can't say enough about this guy. So this hurts me, this pains me to say this, but the worst thing about this movie is the sub-villain, particularly his ending, because the ship's the villain.
Yeah.
Sam Neill's the sub-villain, and like I said before, I mean, even movies that you watch now where people, the bad guys are like Passengers and movies like that, where everyone knows that the compression situation in ships is rough. Like the whole plot of the original Total Recall, like hinged at a moment on no one wanted to fire any guns because they didn't want to hit a window and decompressurize the whole fucking thing, right? And then you've got the Samuel genius who built the fucking ship indiscriminately firing guns in the air like Yosemite fucking Sam, like, and just shoots out a window, and then he gets sucked out of the ship, but because he didn't see that coming, because who the designer of the ship would never know that space is outside of it, and then Lawrence Fishburne hangs on to like some dental floss, and then he's fine, and I was like, what the fuck?
That's all it takes.
Is happening with this ending of this movie? That was really, really shoddy. So
He could have used the belt like in Twister.
right?
That would have made more sense.
It was at least more realistic than anyway. Yeah.
So that's the worst
Poor
part.
Sam Neill. He
But
deserved
even,
better.
But even my worst part, it's sort of just like, okay.
Yeah.
She gets it.
For sure.
She's moving on.
All right. So where would you rate this movie? Where on Rotten Tomatoes would you magically move it if you could?
If I could hack into Rotten Tomatoes and change the critical review of the score from its current state of 24%, I think this film, given the fact that its production went through hell, ironically,
Really?
this film had a fight against its own like producers and stuff. I would say this film,
I mean, Paul Anderson ultimately had a week to edit it.
given all that,
Right.
this film is an easy 61%.
60.
I think it's an easy. You know what? No, 60%. Let's go even Steven.
60%.
And not fresh just to be fresh.
Right. No, that's
I think if someone gave me, you know, a handful of wood and nails and they're like, build a house, by the way, you got a week. If I got some kind of shelter complete, I'd be like, all right, you did what you needed to do. And that's what he did with this film.
Yes. Yeah, I agree with you. It's funny you put it right at the border. It's like literally is the gateway movie. Like
Yes.
you pass and you're fresh. Pass me and you're fresh. I'm sort of inclined to agree with that. I don't know. Like I think this one's hard for me because
Well, if it helps, its current fan rating,
yes,
which is positive, is at 61%.
yeah, that totally makes sense. Here's the thing about this. I think that this movie, more than anything else we've done in the How Low Can We Go series, for where it sits, is proof that Rotten Tomatoes is broken. Right.
Yes.
So the fact that this movie is 24% is ridiculous. It's the first movie we've done, and it's going to be easier as with the lower we go on the scale, where you could just double the score and feel like you didn't do enough. Right. Back when we were doing like Hell Night at 59, if you double the score, it would be 108%.
Yeah, it doesn't. It's harder to
Right.
to do that.
Which it clearly isn't that quality of a movie, but I mean, to be off by this much means that website is hot garbage. So. I am going to double it. So I'm going to put it at 48.
That's it.
That's
48.
it. That's it.
Why 48?
Because I think it's a great movie with really good performances and really watchable, but some serious flaws. And I think that even the director knows there's flaws. And I think knowing what I know about Paul Anderson, I feel like if you gave him a budget, no interference, and let him just run wild, like 60% is the best he's capable of. Right? And he didn't get that here, right? But yeah, I'm gonna say 48%. I think it's a great. Honestly, I think it's a great movie, and I think that it's a great movie in pieces, right? So. It never got the chance that it deserved. But I'm confident that if I saw a director's cut of this movie, it would be Paul Anderson 60% plus, tons of points for just the cast and the design and all the other people who are working on the movie. It would easily be 80, right? As a director's cut.
So you have it at 48%.
Yep.
I think you really have it at 60%, but you're docking it points from that shitty techno music. The techno music took
possible.
it down to
It
48.
it doesn't really matter. Here's the thing. Would I recommend someone watch it? Yes. I recommend someone have fun watching it with showing it to someone else who hasn't seen it? Yes. Do I think that it stayed scary and like really well designed and polished? Yes. It's got all that going for it. Its main problem is exactly what you said. It's the writing just leads to some really, really ridiculous.
And door opening jump scares. Oh, door opened, and I'm scared. We got like 2 or 3 of those in the film.
But I mean, to me, it's a super influential film, and I think it's, it's really hard to. We all know that, like, one of the things that's a big. I love the movie Black Narcissus, right? Which is a movie that worked in ominous religious themes, right? This is one of the few horror movies that works in ominous religious themes with a penalty, right? Imagine trying to it's the Winter Olympics and you're trying to downhill ski, but they're making you use one ski and one foot, right? This movie had so much working against it from the start, and then you give it the difficulty of put religious themes in the background, but don't make a big deal out of it and don't fuck it up. And then put them in space.
Yes.
And it did all that. That's pretty fucking amazing just for that alone.
All right. So for our last little segment here,
Yes.
we have Would You Rather. So here's how this is gonna work.
Yes,
You're at the mall.
Yes.
You see a little thing that says enter your name to win a brand new fancy car.
Okay.
You win the car. It says before you win the car, you have to come and listen to us talk about timeshares
Oh, shit.
for 2.5 hours. Would you rather,
Yes.
while listening to someone talk about timeshares, listen to Sam Neill without his eyes covered in blood talk about the devil, or since we're in LA and we see them all the time,
Okay.
since because it's an LA thing. Listen to Scientologists. try to gauge your vibrational score.
Sam Neill, come on. This is easy. This is absolutely easy. I'd listen to Sam Neill talk about the devil inserted into other movies.
Okay, so let me add this. Scientologists, they want you to do that vibration test or whatever, the little spoon bending thing. Sam Neill has to get uncomfortably close with garlic breath.
Fine. Bring on Sam
Still?
Bring on Sam Neill. He's fine. He's
He just
fun.
got back from the Olive Garden.
It doesn't matter.
He had a whole loaf of garlic bread,
Doesn't
and he's
matter.
like, oh, devil.
It doesn't
hell,
matter. No,
it's great.
it's totally fine. It doesn't matter.
So you go with Sam Neill?
I go with Sam Neill. Easy.
Yeah, me too.
That's an easy one.
That's an easy one.
All right. So, would you rather see a sequel to this?
What's the title? Event Horizon 2.
Yeah, right. The title Event Horizon 2. I don't.
Dead by Dawn. No affiliation to Evil Dead 2.
I don't know.
Let's go with Evil. Let's go
Would
with
you
Event
rather
Horizon 2.
see a sequel to Event Horizon or a sequel to The Shining?
Oof. Oh, man, that's a hard one. No, it's not that hard. I'd go with Event Horizon. I'd go with Event Horizon.
You'd be more excited to see Event Horizon
Horizon
than a
sequel.
Shining sequel.
Well, technically, isn't there like Dr. Sleep?
Dr. Sleep is technically a Shining sequel, yeah.
Dr. Sleep. So I feel like we already got that. So I'm going off that.
Okay.
I feel like we've kind of got that from King,
Fair.
right? So he wrote
Fair.
that. So the guy himself gave it to us.
Sure.
I will say though, Event Horizon 2 is same director, no studio interference.
Yes.
Oh, then no doubt. If he could just have a crack at it, no fucking interference, and give us what the director wanted to see,
Interesting.
that's what I would go with.
That's fair.
I have a feeling you're going to go with The Shining. Tell me why.
Well, no, yeah, for sure I would go with The Shining, but it's not a. To me, it's weird because you have these, you have movies that The Shining is so famous and so popular, so it did not by any means drop through the cracks, but there feels like a point in a story where you're just satisfied. Right, where you're just done with, and that's the weird thing about Event Horizon is I don't like what happened to the movie, but the way the story went and ended, I was satisfied. with where it went, because I feel like anything else is just going to have to take it way, way bigger. And then you fall into like the mythology mistake that like Prometheus did.
Let me ask you this. All right, would you rather a sequel to The Shining or a remake of Event Horizon? Same director, no studio interference.
Oh, I'd rather see a remake.
See the remake?
I'd rather see
no
a
studio interference. Go
No,
that way?
I'd love to see a remake of the Event Horizon by someone who cared about it and loved it and would do it justice. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure.
Because I'm trying to think. Technically, there was the TV version of The Shining.
Oh God, there totally was. Yeah, that's rough.
But no, that's a hard. But to your original question, yeah, I would go with Event Horizon 2, just because I saw what they did with Dead Space 2, and I like that.
Right,
so
right,
you're
right.
able to take that world and expand on it.
Yeah, that totally makes sense. I mean, that's the cool thing though. With that kind of minimalist design, you could put that anywhere. So that's a pretty cool scenario. But it's tricky with stories like this. Look how fucking bad Flatliners remake was. Right?
True.
Like,
Yeah.
some of these movies, because of the time they were made and the spirit they were made in, I don't know, it's just really hard to duplicate.
For The Shining 2, I think it would really, because following up Shelley Duvall and Jack Nicholson
Oh, right.
with Stanley Kubrick behind it, that's a tough act to follow. Who would star and direct in Shining 2?
Oh my God, I don't know, and I don't know. Yeah, I don't. Wow, that's hard, and I don't know. And now you got me thinking about the Event Horizon thing. I don't want to see anyone replace Samuel Lawrence Fishburne. So maybe we're just good the way we are.
Here's what. Let me just throw this out.
Right.
No, this is such a generic. This isn't even a good answer. I would say the guy who is that. There Will Be Blood.
Paul Anderson.
Paul Anderson. Paul Anderson.
Don't, you're just confusing me now. Paul Anderson.
Paul Anderson
Yes.
directs Shining 2. Who plays Jack Nicholson?
I
That's
don't-
not what's his face who always wins all the Oscars.
Daniel Day-Lewis.
Daniel Day-Lewis.
I don't think Paul Anderson has a feel for actual horror movie.
But he has that slow vibe.
Yeah,
That
no,
really
for
slow vibe.
sure.
All he needs,
I mean,
all
there's-
he needs is just a eerie score behind it.
Yeah, he'll have that. He's really good at that. I mean, he's an amazing director, but I feel like Fincher is closer to horror than he is. Right?
Oh, but no, it's not. It would have to be like a bright and shiny Fincher at first, then get real dark.
He can do that.
All right.
Totally fine.
Well, there we go. That's a hard one.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be chewing on that for
hard.
for the rest of the day.
But what's not hard is recommending Event Horizon. If you have not seen this movie, go see it. It's worth seeing at least once. And
Yes.
And if you've enjoyed this, let us know, because we're hunting for an audience for this movie. I'm curious to
Yeah,
see.
I know who my audience is.
Yeah, I know you know who your
mine,
audience is.
Cha-ching, done. But there's answers. There's answers in space that still need answered.
I just picture the Event Horizon drifting through this ignored crack in space for
Does anyone want to watch me?
infinity,
Anyone?
which is sad. It deserves better. All right, cool.
So there we go. Let me put a pause in there. So there we go. And if you liked this podcast, head on over to our Patreon page. Where right now we have No Mercy Hospital going on. No, that's not weird. I got to say last minute thing. And if you like this episode, consider heading on over to our Patreon page where we have the best Slack interactive game you're ever going to see this side of the Serengeti. It is Last Fan Standing. And right now, our current survivors are trying to make their way through No Mercy Hospital. Not Mercy Hospital. No Mercy Hospital.
No Mercy.
Because in this hospital, it ain't looking good.
No, we've already had deaths.
We've had some deaths, and there's going to be some more. We're recording this on a Monday, and there's going to be another installment here, so there might be more bloodshed. There might be more bloodshed,
Can't wait to
and
see who
I
goes.
kind of hope there is. So head on over there. We got a whole bunch of tiers, and get yourself stuck in a choose your own adventure horror game.